Assalamu alaikum. The first divine revelation received by Allah's last prophet and messenger, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, was a batch of 5 short ayahs which eventually formed the first part of what became Surah al Alaq, chapter 96 of the glorious Qur'an. The 5 ayahs commence with a command to the illiterate prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, to start his journey to Allah through learning, ordering him to read and recite with the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the all-capable creator of everything, who has equipped man with knowledge and has taught him literacy. Thus, these 5 opening ayahs of Surah al Alaq imply that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was going to be conferred through divine teaching with great knowledge that he would be reciting and teaching to people, and that his ummah, the nation that follows him, was going to be literate and exceptionally educated. Read and recite with the name of your Lord and Master, who created man from clots that cling. Do read and recite, and your Lord and Master is the one who is most majestic, most preeminent in virtue, and most generous, who has taught by means of the pen, has taught man what he had no knowledge of. At this near literal, therefore sub-basic layer of rendering, a few comments about the text need to be made. The first word in the surah is the imperative verb iqra', from the root qara'a yaqra'u, which basically means both to read, that is to look and decipher, and to recite, especially with physical utterance. The 2 verbs, read and recite, are given in my text side by side, separated by and in the distinct orange colour that I use for markers of parallel denotation. Notice that the verb iqra' is an instruction given to a single unspecific male, whom we have learned may generally be assumed throughout the Qur'an to be the person of the Messenger of Allah being addressed by his Lord, unless otherwise indicated. This imperative verb at the outset of this surah is itself the first word of ayah number 3. The repetition of the command to read and recite surely signifies verbal emphasis, and yet it is repetition with an additional tint, giving the command a different overtone. You see, it is at first about starting with the action of reading and reciting. Iqra' bismi rabbika. Bismi rabbika. In order to rightly understand this bismi rabbika, you'll need to watch or recall my video about the meaning of the basmala, of the idiom Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So here we have Bismi Rabbika, and there we have Bismillahi. And so we will know that this phrase should not be taken to mean doing anything in the name of Allah, as most translations will tell you. It rather means commencing with the name of Allah alone. Commencing with the name of Allah alone. meaning with the blessings of the name of Allah. So the command اقرأ باسم ربك is actually an instruction given to the new young prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, who has not yet learned or uttered any word of divine revelation, to start the action of reading and or reciting the word of Allah right then and constantly afterwards, reiterating divine revelation after the angel Jibreel, that's Gabriel, who has been sent to teach him the word of Allah by the will of Allah. The command in اقرأ باسم ربك actually instructs the Prophet to start his mission to learn and teach people the word of Allah with full confidence in the absolute power of the Creator of everything. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق, the Creator of everything, and with full reliance upon Him, the Almighty Lord and Master who almightily created, that is, started everything from sheer nothing. And the command to read and recite is given again right afterwards. اقرأ. But it is this time not about the blessed start of the action, but about continuing with the action, and the sense of continuing to seek and communicate knowledge, as the context indicates. اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم. It's about seeking knowledge from Allah who has علم, twice repeated, علم بالقلم, علم الإنسان. It's the verb علم, has taught everything, as He is the sole source of all knowledge, who is al-akram. اقرأ وربك الأكرم, the one who is incomparably akram. Now, akram is the superlative from the adjective kareem. Kareem means three things: of exceptional merit, so we speak about hajarun kareem, a precious stone. It means outstanding in virtue, so we speak about khuluqun kareem, a virtuous conduct or moral practice. And it also means generous, which is the meaning most commonly used, and it is the one more relevant within the present context. This is why the superlative al-akram in the ayah اقرأ وربك الأكرم is translated as the one who is most majestic, most preeminent in virtue, and most generous. The surah begins, as we have rightly assumed, by addressing the Prophet-to-be while he sat meditating in seclusion in the cave at Mount Hira in the suburbs of Mecca. This is why he's addressed, O Muhammad, اقرأ, that is, read and recite. The surah's sabab al-nuzūl, which is its circumstantial setting of revelation, tells us how when the Prophet heard the first word of this surah from the angel Jibreel, the invisible angel Jibreel, he retorted in astonishment, "I'm no reader," in reference to his being illiterate. And yet the Prophet-to-be was again commanded, read and recite Bismi Rabbika, read and recite, commencing with the blessings of the name of Rabbika. Interestingly, the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are familiar with in the Basmala, in Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, is with such sweet gentleness to the startled Prophet, being replaced here by the word Rabbika, Bismi Rabbika, your Rabb. So it's Allah alone, your all glorious Lord and Master, to whom you fully belong, your Rabb, who has created you and raised you and is constantly nurturing and protecting you. So your Creator, caring nurturer, and hence only deity, who has khalaq, khalaq means created. This verb is a transitive verb, but is found here without an object. So we may ask, has created what? Thus effecting generality because of the lack of object, what we call umum, to indicate an open object, meaning everything, and to refer back to him as the sole creator of everything. Alladhi khalaq. Nobody else has khalaq. Therefore, we may understand this to mean who has alone created all that has ever existed or may ever come into existence, all from sheer nothing, as the word khalaq explicitly indicates. But then, zooming in through this totality of creation, alladhi khalaq, to bring the focus onto what is more presently relevant, the next ayah goes, خَلَقَ الْإِنسَانَ, thus moving to Allah's creation of man in particular, the race that he is endowed with exceptional intellectual and spiritual capacities. Do read and recite with the aid and the blessings of Allah who created al-insana, man, with the prefix al attached to it, which expresses all-inclusiveness, istighraq, denoting the inclusion of the whole human race. So the species of man is described as having been created from alaq, الذي خلق الإنسان خلق الإنسان الذي خلق الإنسان من علق. The species of man is described as having been created from alaq in the plural form, whereas everywhere else in the Qur'an, the individual human is seen, described as being created from a single alaqah, single, after having been a nutfah or a zygote. The noun alaqa, derived from the verb aliqa ya'laqu, which means, among other denotations, to cling or stick to something, is used for sticky or adherent substances. But in Qur'anic vocabulary, it refers specifically to the human embryo as a clot that clings, understandably a clot of coagulated blood which adheres fast to the lining of its mother's womb and that develops an appearance similar to that of a leech, which bears the same name, alaqa, in Arabic. This is why at this basic language-based layer of my translation, the ayah خَلَقَ الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ عَلَقٍ states that Allah created the whole species of humankind at a specific early stage of their creation from leech-like clots of coagulated blood that clings. And there at once, follows the same initial command to the Prophet of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, again instructing him to read and recite, but this time with a different overtone, telling him, after you start reading, reciting what is being revealed to you, Bismi Rabbika, with hope for and trust in the blessings of your Rabb, do read and recite to yourself and to all of humankind this divine revelation with continued awareness of your Rabb. Iqra wa rabbuka al-akram. And as you do so, stay ever mindful and certain that Rabbuka, your Rabb, your all-glorious Lord and Master, your guardian and only deity, O Prophet Muhammad, is Al-Akram, is alone the one who is most majestic, most preeminent in virtue, and most generous, who has benevolently taught by means of the pen, who has therewith taught man what he had no knowledge of and would never have known. O Muhammad, read and recite what is being revealed to you, commencing with the blessings of the name of Allah alone, your all-glorious Lord and Master, your Creator, caring nurturer and only deity, who has alone almightily created all that has ever existed or may ever come into existence, whether known or unknown, knowable or unknowable to humans, all from sheer nothing. Do read and recite what is being revealed to you with the aid and the blessings of Allah, who has created the whole species of humankind at a specific early stage of their creation from trivial and unintelligent leech-like clots of coagulated blood that cling to the walls of their mothers' wombs. Do read and recite what is being revealed to you, and as you do so, stay ever mindful and certain that your all-glorious Lord and Master, your guardian and only deity, O esteemed Prophet Muhammad, is alone the one who is most majestic, most preeminent in virtue, and most generous beyond any comparison, who has benevolently taught chosen ones among his creatures, such as angels and humans, to document, keep, and communicate knowledge and information by means of the pen, who is therewith and otherwise taught man what he had no knowledge of and would never have known of common sense and of information, of arts and sciences, and of talents and wisdom. Therefore, be confident, O noble messenger, that as your Lord did teach your forefather Adam everything, raising him in stature with that knowledge, even above the angels of the highest ranks in heaven, he can likewise impart divine knowledge to you despite your illiteracy, and can thus make of that endowment of divine knowledge to you a special miracle to bless you with, and a further proof of your truthfulness, along with other miracles that you will forever be blessed with. This, O noble messenger, is how your Lord is surely going to raise you in stature above the whole of creation with this revelation that you are ordered to recite for the guidance of humankind.